Alright, hello you algebra cool cats and kittens, it's Mr. Levy again with another fabulous video. So for this video we're going to be talking about the discriminant. So the discriminant, like in the very first video of what is the quadratic formula, is part of the quadratic formula. Okay, so if we're looking and we have our quadratic formula here, the discriminant is everything inside of the square root. So this is our discriminant. Wow, okay. So again, this all comes from using an equation in the form of ax squared minus bx, plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, so that's what we need to make sure our equations look like every single time. And so it's a small portion of that quadratic formula. And why do we need to know it? What's the point? Well, those are great questions. So, the reason why we study it is because we can use the discriminant to determine the number and types of solutions also, again, just like the last video, called x-intercepts, roots, or zeros to any given quadratic function. Okay? So, with that, there are 3 possible values of b squared minus 4ac, or that discriminant. 1 is that it's positive, which just means that your b squared minus 4ac is going to be greater than 0. 2 is that it is 0, so b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. And the last one is that it's negative, and that just means that b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. So these are the 3 scenarios that we're going to briefly look at in this video. And again, I gave you all a cheat sheet that is on Canvas for you to download and have as notes. You can keep it just on Canvas. You can print it out and keep it with your stuff while you're trying to do your practice. But these are the 3 scenarios that we're going to look at. So I'm going to go in here and let's get a new color. Alright, so we're going to make it positive. Okay? So that just means that our value, again, of b squared minus 4ac is going to be greater than 0. And then this is going to give us 2 real solutions. Okay, Mr. Levy, that's great, but what does that mean? So this means that if I was to take my equation that I had, so again, from my ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, if I graphed it now, okay, so here's my coordinate plane. If I plotted the quadratic function, it crosses my x-axis 2 times. Okay? Or, if I wanted to add another drawing, let's fix that guy there. Okay, this could also go like this. And so this just means that it's crossing your x-axis twice, or there's 2 x intercepts. Okay? The second case is when it's 0. So we'd have b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. So this tells us that there's only one real solution. Okay? Or just one x-intercept. And I can model that for us here. So going back to my coordinate plane, and it would look like this. So I could have one that looks like that, or I could have another one if we're living a little bit here, and we could say, oh, you know what? Let's put that guy right there. Okay? So that's for the zeros. And then the last case here is negative. Ooh. Or just when b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. So this gives us no real solutions. Okay? It would yield what we call imaginary, and that's what you would learn about in Algebra 2. But I can also represent this as a drawing on a coordinate plane here, so that we can all see it. And what this would look like is that I could just have one down here like this. So this never crosses the x-axis. And I can have another one over here. And this guy just chills up in here. And again, never crosses that x-axis.